Well, the simple fact that you're here shows that you have a lot of dedication to the business, and you're here to learn and everything. And when I look back, and I've been here, I think, 16 years now. I remember when I came to the first NAGA convention, and that was before Bill had started these seminars. When I was there, you could talk to anybody that you would walk up to and you ask a question of. They would give you an answer, and they would tell you how they did things and ways that they thought that they might could help you. And I know that without having that benefit, that we wouldn't be where we are today. And so this is the 80th anniversary for NAGA this year. Started a long time ago. All of you probably remember John Mullen, I bet. And John was kind of the lifeblood of NAGA. And when we lost John, we lost an awful lot. He had a vested interest in the business, and he was always out there talking and meeting folks and everything. So what we're trying to do now is we've hired a new editor for the NAGA News. We think she's going to do a really, really good job, and she's going to be calling you and asking you for interviews so she can write articles about your operations in the NAGA News. She's going to be doing that. She's also going to be handling the website, and she's going to be in charge of all sales and marketing for all of the advertising in the newsletters and all the other publications and the website that we put out. Her name is Sue Bookhout, and we changed all of the advertising in NAGA News this time, not the advertising, but the listing, so that her name and address, email will be in there and everything. So if you have any stories or anything, we'd really appreciate you sending those in, because that's what we need to know. We actually had 2 members that passed away within NAGA this year, and I didn't find out about one of them until too late. But if you have any news, be sure and send it in for us. Ladd Johnson is executive director of NAGA, and we've kind of changed Ladd's position now because we see a need to tie in with all the other organizations within the country that have a like pathway, that have the same concerns that we do. So Ladd is going to be working on creating conservation partners for NAGA. Folks like, we'll go further with the National Shooting Sports Foundation, maybe the NRA, Elk Foundation, Safari Club, and even the people that raise whitetail deer. Anybody that is in the same position that we're in, that has to fight the same battles that we're in, we'd like to have them as partners with NAGA. So Ladd's going to be working on that. Now, the reason that we need these close associations is, fortunately for us, we haven't had any real disasters lately. I don't know if you guys remember the postal deal we had a few years ago, and the CRP program that the government came out with and said that you can't hunt on CRP ground anymore. And NAGA was in the very front of stopping those two potential problems for us. An example of what can happen to you when things change. I don't know, how many of you folks are familiar with the wolf situation that we have out west? Does anybody know what's going on out there? When the federal government decided to bring wolves in Idaho, they thought that they would bring in 10 breeding pair, and their goal was to get 100 wolves on the ground. Well, not too soon after that, the Friends of the Clearwater and several other anti-hunting organizations decided that they didn't think that 10 would be enough, so they opted for 20 breeding pairs and 200 wolves. Well, to compromise, all of the people on our side said, okay, well, we'll give you an inch this time, and we'll settle for 15 breeding pairs and 150 wolves if you won't fight the delisting program to keep these wolves off the endangered list so that they can be controlled. Well, as soon as they made the deal, they went to Judge Don Malloy in Missoula and filed a lawsuit saying that they didn't think that would be enough wolves. Now, right now, I just checked with Idaho last night. They figure we have over 2,000 wolves in Idaho. We have 200 breeding pairs, and that's not enough yet. And so it's such a bad situation that the elk herd on the Selway Bitterroot Wilderness area, which in 22 years ago was 22,000 elk, is all the way down to 1,300 elk right now. And that's not due just to wolves, but I would say probably 90% of the reason that they're down is due to wolves, okay? the reason I'm telling you this is that when we thought that when we gave that concession and we agreed to the terms, that that's the way it was going to be. And it was hardly a day later when that compromise was made that they were in federal court in Missoula filing that lawsuit. So my point is that no matter what we do, no matter how much we give, they're going to be asking for more. They've already introduced a bill in the U.S. House of Representatives right now to increase the cage size for all layers all across the United States, with hopes of eventually doing away with cages altogether. You know, I mean, I think that's their ultimate goal. But, and another point too, the wolves are so bad in Idaho right now that we can't even allow our grandkids to walk up the canyon behind our house and go fishing without somebody with a gun with them. We can't run our dogs at night like we used to. If our dogs didn't hunt during the day, generally we would run them at night to get them some exercise. We can't do that, you know. So it's a pretty bad situation. So just bear in mind that when you're dealing with the people that are trying to take your hunting rights away from you and your fishing rights away from you, that if they gain an inch today, that's a major victory for them. We think we've won. They're just waiting for the next battle, and they'll take more. So you got to be ever vigilant to watch that. I guess to continue on the bad news, everybody knows what the pheasant situation is in the United States right now. It's down everywhere. And a big part of that is the simple fact that this is the first year we've ever gone upside down with corn. This year, 51% of the corn that we've grown in the United States is going to go toward ethanol, 49 cents to feed every animal and human in the United States and probably a lot of other countries. So people are pulling CRP out at pretty alarming rates. Habitat's going down. The predators are not being controlled right now. The avian predators we can't control, actually. The ground predators, there's nobody trapping much anymore like they used to. We've had a couple of bad winters and a couple of wet springs. And even out in the west, where it's been a traditional open hunting country, large tracts of land are being leased up now. The individuals are going in and leasing large tracts of lands to preserve their hunting because they see the trend, you know. So it doesn't look like it's going to get a lot better anytime real soon as far as the wild bird population is concerned. But that's the good news is for us, you know. The way I see things, and I haven't been here for the short period of time that I have, I think that we've got a great opportunity coming right now. I mean, we're on the top of our game. We raised the best game birds that we've probably ever raised. Our shooting preserves are the best that they've ever been. So we got a pretty unique opportunity coming up here, you know. Right now, for about the next 18 years, we've got 60 million baby boomers retiring. And that's 10,000 people a day that's retiring. Most of them have grandkids. Most of them have got money now. Most of them grew up in what we would remember as a mostly rural America, running along in the afternoon, shooting pheasants and quail and chukars out of hedgerows and cornfields. And my impression from having met those people and talked to a lot of them, and we have hundreds of them coming to our shooting preserve, they would like to take their grandkids there, you know. Probably one good well-managed shooting preserve has as much cover as 100 average farms right now. If you look out and you see what's going on farms and everything and how the farming practices, I mean, our very business is built in conservation. That's what we strive for, is to build more habitat, improve everything that we do on the farm because it makes our hunting better. And I think that, that with all these people retiring and the potential that we have, we've got a unique opportunity coming up. And we need to capitalize on that. These people would like to, everybody kind of likes to go back to where they came from sometimes. I mean, class reunions to me are a great thing. You get to see everybody. And right now, these people would like to go back. They would actually like to go back in time and to where they were when they grew up, when pheasants were plentiful and the cover was plentiful. And they'd like to take the grandkids out where they can walk and hunt, have a great hunt, and see birds and relive some old memories, you know. And with us, we can take them back in time. Our preserves are from that time frame. We've got the habitat and the hospitality and the birds to do it with and everything. So we've got everything to gain by cooperating together and working with each other. And the thing that I would really like to see as president of NAG, and my goal as president, is to increase the membership in NAGA and increase our affiliations with state associations and other associations And so, I mean, even like if we could go to, say, the state associations and work with them to help publish a magazine for them, whatever we can do to get us to all back together again and to get everybody working toward the same goal. Because when a catastrophe does hit, and trust me, it's going to hit someday, when HSUS figures out that they've got a lot of things already under control, they're going to come back looking for us. You know, they spent the last 2 years trying to get the lead out of fishing lures and everything that they can do. And so they'll be back to talk to us before too long. So we really need to be ready, and we need to get together, and we need to cooperate and try to make ourselves a stronger organization. So if you, as a producer, if you're out, when you're taking birds out to your folks out there, and if they're not members of NAGA, we'd really appreciate you talking to them and say, hey, you know, we need your support. And the same with preserves, you know, when you're talking to other preserves and you see them, and if you're not a member of NAGA, ask them if they'll join us, because we'd really like to have them.